Oh, hello. I'm a bottle of wine down right now, and wasn't TakeOver really, really good? And you know what else is really, really good? Wrestling news. So let's take a look at some really, really good wrestling news headlines, shall we? We have potential leaked plans for a Roman Reigns-led stable. WWE are bringing back a classic WCW pay-per-view, and which WWE legend is being rumoured to win the Royal Rumble 2021? We'll tell you in a bit. So we are kicking things off with some news regarding everybody's favourite big tribal chief dog, Roman Reigns. It was made official on Friday night. Roman will once again be facing Jey Uso, this time inside Hell in a Cell, but this match is going to be the highest stakes match in WWE history. It's big. We don't quite know what that means yet, but I'm sure we'll find out in the next few weeks. We've got a report from WrestlingNews.co regarding potential future plans for Roman Reigns, and I think they're pretty exciting ones. They say, for what it's worth, there has been talk in creative about Reigns leading a stable with Jey and Jimmy when he's healthy, and others added in the future. We were told that the match at Hell in a Cell would be the next chapter in the story being told, and there are many other players that will be involved in the storyline with Reigns. Really great to hear. Reigns right now, it's the most interesting that Roman Reigns has been since his time in the Shield, without a doubt. He's absolutely on fire right now. He's the biggest thing in WWE. He's absolutely tremendous. So this is great to hear, because I think a lot of people are perhaps expecting Roman Reigns to absolutely brutalize Jey, maybe Jimmy if he comes out again, absolutely decimate him as well, but maybe this will result in, if this is to be believed, in a faction involving all three of those guys. And the really interesting thing is them saying that there are more names to be added in the future. So Jey Uso actually mentioned this in an interview with TalkSport earlier this year. And he said, the bloodline will come on and off. That will always be there. But imagine us running that thing full blown. And I would love to be heel. A heel faction. Hell yeah, bro! I want to see some Samoan SWAT Team 2.0 type of things, man. It's written by itself, right? And I couldn't agree more. I think this would be so bloody good. And it just furthers, in my mind, the dream match in all of this. Like, if Roman started recruiting other people, and then eventually, imagine he recruits Simone Johnson. He brainwashes her, and she thinks the world of him. And that, of course, brings in Dwayne. And then you finally got Roman versus Dwayne at WrestleMania. I don't think it's happening next year at WrestleMania, but that's the money match, without a doubt. And that is the match. As if he needs it right now, because Roman, as I say, is absolutely on fire. But imagine Roman going over Rock at an upcoming WrestleMania. Heel versus the biggest babyface in all of entertainment, full stop. And Roman defeating him. I'd love to see it. I think this is really, really promising stuff. We'll have to wait and see. Hell in a Cell is already shaping up to be a really, really exciting pay-per-view. But yeah, Roman leading a heel stable as the tribal chief. That means money. Next up, it's time to talk about Edge and his potential plans when he does make his return to WWE. Obviously, he's not on our screens at the moment. He's recently undergone tricep surgery. He's not expected back before the beginning of next year, which coincides with these potential plans. It regards the Royal Rumble. I think you probably see where I'm going with this. This was from The Observer. Dave Meltzer saying, Adam Copeland said this past week that his recovery from tricep surgery is going slower than he expected, thinking it may be due to his 47 years old. He's no spring chicken. Copeland had surgery in June, and that's usually a 6 to 8 month return. Even at 8 months, that's February. If Orton was champion, and if Orton versus Edge would be the direction, which a few months ago it was, because of course a few months ago it was going to be Orton versus Edge in an I Quit match, was the planned Mania main event. An Edge return winning the Rumble would make sense, and January would be touch and go. Even with a slower return, Mania would still appear to be well within probable reach. I feel like the fact that they're once again going back to Orton versus Drew, and the fact that Drew has won several times, but we're going to get Orton versus Drew inside Hell in a Cell. The fact that they keep going back to Orton mean that they believe that probably Edge is going to be back. And that's, once again, that's the money match, isn't it? Edge versus Orton in the final chapter of their rivalry. And that for the WWE Championship would be great. Of course it would. I feel a little bit sorry for Drew, the fact that he's having to do this with Orton so many times. But yeah, again, the fact that they go back to Orton, to me indicates that they want to put the title on him. But Drew getting a few wins makes Drew look strong. So hopefully there's good things in the future for Drew too. If he thinks he's going to be back by February, then Royal Rumble seems pretty sensible. And it's a likely safe way of doing it. Edge should come in super late. 2 Rumble returns in 2 years. It would be brilliant. Edge comes in, eliminates whoever, wins the thing, and then he's got a few months to build to WrestleMania, where he doesn't have to do anything especially physical. He doesn't need to be wrestling or anything like that, but he can get involved in physical angles, and he's got until April to recover, and then you've got your match with Randy Orton, which people would be super, super into by that point, I think. So, again, speculation, but I would suggest that it makes sense given the circumstances. Next up, we have an update on Marty Jannetty. Marty Jannetty has, of course, been in the news quite a lot recently regarding his claims that back in the 1970s, he made a man disappear, in his words. He has given an interview now to Hannibal TV where he's talked about these claims, which he has since retracted, but he's expanded upon them just a little bit. And he said during the interview, "You know, once the Georgia Bureau of Investigation got involved, it got serious, and I was just trying to set up a storyline." So he was saying that those claims were to set up a wrestling angle. "I have to say that right now, because you know it was 40 years ago, I was 13 years old. You know, as a grown-up or any kids listening to this, you say what you think, but when it actually happens, I didn't expect that reaction." Talking about the backlash that he faced online regarding these claims of murder. "I hit him with a brick. I said it was a brick. It was a piece of concrete. And you know, if you hit someone in the temple, very vulnerable. Evidently, I hit him too hard, and he died right there." So he's going back on his claims that it was a work, and now once again, I guess, saying that he did in fact kill a man back in the 1970s. I don't want to spend too much time on this because I think it's really, really clear that Marty isn't a very well man at all. And I don't really want to speculate whether this is down to substance abuse or just general mental health issues or anything like that. But I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, he's just attention seeking and all that. But I just think it's so clear that he's not well and that he probably needs help very soon. And I really hope he gets that help. Next up, on a brighter note, WWE are bringing back a classic WCW pay-per-view. And if you haven't seen NXT TakeOver 31 from last night, it's the one that we've all been waiting for. Halloween Havoc is returning to our screens. This was announced during last night's TakeOver. WWE have since tweeted out, "Are you scared? You should be. Shotzi Blackheart hosts WWE NXT Halloween Havoc on Wednesday, October 28th on the USA Network. Trick or treat, WWE Universe." I love this. I can't wait. We've all been talking about it for so long. There's been various trademark issues regarding the Halloween Havoc name, but obviously WWE now own that. I want to see it all. I want big inflatable pumpkin. I want electric chairs. I want monster trucks. I want the lot. What a push for Shotzi Blackheart as well, hosting the event. That's really cool. She'll be brilliant. Obviously, WWE aren't afraid to be bringing things back, especially when it relates to NXT. Obviously, the Great American Bash came back to compete with AEW, and it'll be interesting to see AEW's response to this. This is on a Wednesday night. This isn't like a weekend pay-per-view type show. This is just a Wednesday night TV show. So it'll be interesting to see what AEW do in response to it. But I'm buzzing. I'm really buzzing. I like silly bollocks in wrestling. As far as I'm concerned, Halloween Havoc had one of the best sets ever. I just loved the way it looked. And yeah, this on in NXT, it's gonna be a whole lot of fun. So we'll see. Nothing has been formally announced for it except for the host of it. So we'll see where things lead over the next few weeks. But I'm definitely gonna live stream it. Hopefully I'll see you there, and I'm absolutely buzzing. And finally, 2 major returns to NXT at TakeOver 31 last night. If you haven't seen the show, I guess turn off now. Nice to see you nice. So following the match between Io Shirai and Candice LeRae, Toni Storm appeared on the screen saying, it's Toni time, she's back in NXT, she's coming for the Women's Championship, and brilliant. Obviously, future world champion, whether it's in NXT, whether it's on the main roster, she's just tremendous. But that wasn't it, and I don't want this to feel like I'm taking away from Toni's return to NXT, which maybe was the case on the night, because there was another return immediately after. The mystery superstar who's been teased on NXT for weeks now turned out to be Ember Moon, which I am so chuffed about. So she rode to the venue on a motorcycle, she came out, takes her helmet off, it's Ember Moon. And it's brilliant, because so many of us thought that given the severity of her injury, she wouldn't make it back to wrestling at all. And if she did come back, I think a lot of us expected her to return to the main roster, where she was once again woefully misused. So seeing her back in NXT, former NXT Women's Champion, immediately staring down the current NXT Women's Champion, fills me with hope, because I think Ember is great as well. She's so good. Possibly the best finisher in all of WWE. The Eclipse is a stunning move, and hopefully we see a lot more of it over the coming weeks and months. So that's it. I'm full of wine. Hopefully I've done all right here and not bollocksed anything up too much. I don't know. It's 4 a.m. now. So yeah, thank you very much to everybody who watched the live stream. Much appreciated. Just a couple of live streams left on YouTube before I say goodbye, before Pachiti Mania 2.0 finishes. And so I'll see you on Friday for the draft, and then Monday for the draft. And that's your lot. I'm off to bed once again. See you in a bit. Take care. Good night.